I've spent a lot of time on the internet, and for some reason there is quite a lot of extreme shit on the internet that make me reasonably comfortable. So today I thought I would share them with you. Now keep in mind, these aren't really art. They're more like things I happen to shit on. I've spent a lot of time shitting on art. Let's just say you probably wouldn't art. But I do believe that if artists arted in your average art book, their art would look a lot better, at least in my opinion. So
if he finds just one sauce book, the entire YTP will be rejected.
Come on, I didn't even forward reverse that. Also, it wasn't even sauce, it was sus.
So sit back and relax while I complain about butt stuff. Okay, first off,
YouTube is always sometimes stealing people's videos for a stupid joke.
Apparently, every aspiring artist develops a disturbing obsession with butt stuff.
And they want to draw everything they make like it.
This isn't really a problem. It's more like a lack of taste. Let's just say this. I mean, you have these huge, detailed, fully shaded eyes, and then you have a simple, unshaded eyes.
I'm going after rail.
It's extremely awkward. In other art with eyes, there is some level of detail that balances the peak. Leaning
Television stars like Ruth Hussey, Edward Arnold, and Lorraine Day.
I see so much art where everyone's character turns into Michael Jackson.
Hey, wait a minute.
You've been hit by smooth.
Where'd he go?
I'm talking about when people have a figure that is supposed to be straight, but for some reason they
No, so much no.
I don't really have a problem with his hair. I think that's fine.
Hey, wait a minute.
Drawing individual strands of hair. Hair is a tricky thing in drawing, and of course, when most people attempt to draw it, the first thing they try to do is draw each and every single strand. Not only is this Okay, this next one is probably the biggest and most infuriating one by far. Smudge shading. This type of shading looks like the artist wiped their ass in their art book. Anyway, my name is Sans, and you're gonna have a bad time. Goodbye. Apparently, every aspiring artist is apparent, but I do believe that if artists arted in your ass, their art would sell a lot better, at least in my opinion.
Onions!